All right, we are joined today by Chris from Baker Bookhouse. Chris is the fiction buyer for the bookstore, so everything that's in the fiction department is there because she bought it. Chris, what have you been reading recently? What would you recommend?
Actually, this is one from Kriegel Publications. It's called The Reluctant Detective by Martha Ockley. It is not a new author per se, but new to me. She is actually from England. She sets her book in England, which makes the book fun because it is written from somebody with that experience to it. You get your little quirky things, and you have some quirky characters in there, but you also have the slang used correctly that England uses, as opposed to an American trying to use it. It's just basically a whodunit mystery. Faith Morgan, which is what the series is titled, the Faith Morgan series, is a former policewoman and a former detective, and she becomes a pastor in the Church of England. And on her first assignment for the church, she watches the pastor of that church be murdered. So she knows right away that she's going to have to go back to what she was doing. And then, of course, the detective that comes to solve the mystery is her ex-boyfriend. And, of course, then you have that tension in there, too. The nice thing is you don't know who did it right away in the first chapters. It took me a little while to figure it out. In fact, I was quite close to the end of the book before I had it figured completely out.
And you usually figure these things out like right away, don't you?
I usually try to. I don't always do, and that usually wins me an author.
Okay.
If it's not something that is so obvious. Now, I do understand some authors, you follow the bad guy. That's a little different. But when they're not trying to give it away and I figure it out, it bothers me. And this one I didn't, and I really, really enjoyed it. The characters are very strong characters. Male or female readers will like this. If you're a whodunit fan, I was even thinking maybe Agatha Christie. I can't say it right. Rats. And anyways, that kind of mystery. It's a little more in depth. I find some of hers, towards the end a little lighter, but it's not blood and gore. It's just a good whodunit.
How Christian-y is this book?
Well, with the pastor being in it, it's very Christian-y.
Okay.
Because it's involved with the church, but it's not the plan of salvation shoved down your throat.
Okay.
It's just, in fact, because of the tension between Faith and her ex, because he finds her faith kind of trite and saying, well, you're using it as a crutch right now. And so she's having these arguments with him. And, they're not full-blown screaming arguments, but discussions, I guess maybe is a better word, about her faith and why it's not fake and why suddenly she became a Christian. And it's a little more realistic to what we would be discussing as in the world, so to speak. So
good.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to read this book? You're a person who reads a book like in an hour, when a normal person would take about 2 weeks. How long was this one?
About a day and a half, because I read it over a weekend, and
okay.
I happened to have a lot of time that weekend to read it. So it is a quick read, but it's not, like you said, it's not an hour read. It's not fluffy that way, where you want to read the book, because otherwise you're missing something. You might miss a clue or whatever. So.
All right. If you could say one thing to the author, what would you say?
Thank you. Where's the next one due?
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.